From CNBC,
There we go.
FBI arrests Chinese researcher for visa fraud after she hid at consulate in San Francisco. CNBC reports a researcher who took refuge in the Chinese consulate in San Francisco after allegedly lying to investigators about her Chinese military service was arrested and will appear in court on Monday, according to a senior Justice Department official. According to court documents unsealed earlier this week in the Eastern District for California, Yuan Tang, a researcher at the University of California, Davis, applied for a non-immigrant J-1 visa October 2019. The visa was issued in November 2019, and Tang entered the U.S. a month later. Tang allegedly made fraudulent statements on her visa application by concealing that she served in the Chinese military. The FBI concluded that Tang was a uniformed officer of the People's Liberation Army Air Force after photographs of her were uncovered on electronic media seized in accordance with the search warrant. I won't discuss the circumstances of the arrest, said the official, who spoke on the condition of anonymity, adding that the individual did not have diplomatic immunity. The person said that the details of the arrest could be released when the defendant appears before the Eastern District of California court Monday. The issue here is that their true status wasn't disclosed by visa application, the official said, adding that the arrest was not a tit-for-tat move as tensions between Washington and Beijing simmer. On Thursday, the FBI arrested Tang, who had avoided arrest by taking refuge in the Chinese consulate in San Francisco. Tang's arrest for alleged visa fraud follows those of 3 other Chinese researchers in California and Indiana. The arrests were described as a microcosm of a broader network of individuals in more than 25 cities. By their very nature, consulates are a base of operations for foreign governments to the U.S., including their intelligence services, and it's understood that there will be some activity here by those services. Yikes. But because of their location within the United States and their status of sovereign territory of a foreign country, they cannot be exploited, and the espionage and influence activities run out of a consulate can rise ultimately to a level that threatens our national security. So this is where it's getting spicy, man. They shut down our They shut down our consulate in Chengdu. A senior State Department official said the arrests and the closure of the consulate in Houston are about targeting nefarious Chinese activity inside the U.S.
No, they straight up called him out for spying on us.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, I'm just reading the quote.
I know. I'm just bringing more information into the fold here.
On their decision to close Chengdu, you're going to have to ask them, the MFA, and how they picked that, said the person who spoke on the condition of anonymity, referring to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. The official added that the Trump administration was prepared to deal with second and third order effects in the wake of the consulate closure.
What does that mean?
I don't know, man. But when I first heard this, it was disconcerting. I wonder if the U.S. got permission to enter sovereign territory to seize a Chinese national.
Yeah, maybe. Well, I was actually looking into it, and they're reporting on the Chinese side that those people defected to us, to the U.S.
Really?
So
what?
That's what I'm seeing from some reporters on the Chinese side, and even it says here the China's foreign ministry spokesman Wang Wenbin said some of the U.S. Chengdu consulate personnel were conducting activities not in line with their identities. So they're trying
and had harmed China's security interests.
Right, but would not elaborate.
Whoa.
And then he goes on to say in an interview that he was speaking to the public in China, and he was basically saying that we made the first move as Americans, and we messed up how we were kicking them out of their consulate in Houston, and that move is basically making them look bad, and
right.
how dare we, and the friendship that we had between American and China is no longer.
What's going on with China and the U.S. reminds me of, like, you've got this one big brutish dude,
yeah,
and he challenges this little nerdy guy to a fight or whatever, and the nerdy guy doesn't care about winning by honorable means. So when the big brutish dude is like, "You think that scrawny guy can take me? I'm the best," and the scrawny guy just hides in the bushes and takes a wrist rocket and blasts him in the head with a rock and wins, and the guy goes down.
Yep.
So the analogy I'm trying to use here is, so many people keep saying that, oh, China's no threat to the U.S., they're no threat to the U.S. Do you think that China, realizing that we have this massive technological advantage, would plan for a conflict based on physical force or ground forces? They're going to target infrastructure, manipulate social pressures, financial institutions. It is going to be a subversive, manipulative conflict.
I'm fairly certain that's what's been going on for quite some time.
Well, yeah, of course. Mike Pompeo said it.
Yep.
They've infiltrated every level of our governments.
Yep, that's
and,
right.
and institutions.
And Barr said it too. He was talking about the exact same thing.
All these companies that all of a sudden, you know what sickens me? I'm not going to name the NBA players, but you guys probably know who I'm talking about. These very, very high profile NBA players who are like, oh, we need a movement and we're going to kneel and we're going to do all these things. And then when it comes to China, they're like, what's wrong with China? China's great.
Terrible.
That's the scary thing about it.
It's a shame. It's the money, man.
It's
greed. Greed is disgusting.
Yeah. So you have to wonder why it is that China suppresses their population in the way they do with like garbage wages, manipulates their currencies, and has these basically massive sweatshops. You know why? They're man, this is horrifying about collectivism at this scale. These individuals who are walking off the building at Foxconn to their deaths, that was a big story a long time ago. Mm-hmm. They put up suicide nets to catch their bodies. The Chinese government sacrifices people in order to get an edge against us. So they put these people in crammed garbage apartments, and they pay them trash to make our phones. That way, American companies can't compete. Here's what happens. Phone company says, how much will it cost us to hire labor to build these phones? They say, well, the total cost per phone will be, $2,000. Yikes. That's way too much. Well, over in China, the total cost will be $100. Then we can sell them for $1,000 and claim it's cheap. That's brilliant.
Yep.
Because they suppress their labor and depress the wages and put these people in these horrifying conditions, we can't compete with that. That's why Trump wanted tariffs. Yep. That's why he didn't want TPP. It's why Bernie Sanders originally didn't want TPP.
That's why he wants to bring manufacturing back here.
Exactly.
There's so many things in that. We can talk about that for a while. But go ahead, keep going.
No, the point is, what we're seeing from China is they're willing to lop off their own arm if it means they win against us in the long run.
Yep.
So if you see this stuff, and I see a lot of people in the comments saying things like China is a paper tiger. They're not strong enough. They have a lot of people, but they're so weak. They have one aircraft carrier, and it's like, man, what did Sun Tzu say about underestimating your opponent? I don't remember the exact quote, but you don't. You don't do it. You win the war before you start it. There's a bunch of really brilliant quotes from Sun Tzu. Obviously, The Art of War.
Fairly certain 1,000 paper cuts will still do a lot of damage.
Right, death by 1,000 cuts.
Yep.
So we can see. Listen, man, over the past several decades, that Dylan Ratigan rant. This country is being extracted through trade, politics, finance. That's right.
Yeah, we're not buying American products, so our money isn't staying in America. It's going outside of America to other countries, weakening us.
It's this simple.
That's what Trump wants to do.
It's really simple. If Trump didn't come around, and this is fascinating, especially considering the things I was, my position several years ago. If Trump didn't do what he did with TPP and with American manufacturing, I talked about this years ago. China could snap their fingers and win the war. You know why? We don't have medicine. We don't have masks. We don't have manufacturing capabilities.
80% of our imports come from China.
So here's what happens.
That's what he means by saying, make America great again. Make America great by providing for ourselves. That's what he wants to do. That's what I want to do. We should all want that.
If Trump didn't intervene and the extraction carried on for another several years, we would be 2 more presidents down the line. We'd make literally nothing. The billionaires of the NBA and Hollywood would have all their allegiances in China and all their wealth in China. Frozen. And then China, and they would snap their fingers and say, we declare war on you, America. And we'd be like, oh, yeah? And they'd be like, yeah, what you going to do? You can't make anything. And then we'd be like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
They would cut off our manufacturing because they controlled all of it. They were shutting down our ability to make things.
But that executive order that he put in, President Trump put in, last week now? I know it was starting on Hong Kong, but the wordings that was in there was basically saying if you're connected and
to the party,
if you're funded, if CP is connected through any means, even if you're a bystander and you have been helping them in any way, they can freeze your assets. So those millionaires and billionaires and all that stuff, it's like, I'm waiting for it. I'm looking for that day.
That was an extremely powerful move.
Yeah, it was.
And now you're not going to see it. But I tweeted about this, that I think you've got these billionaires that are lobbying for favorable policies for their interests in foreign companies, not necessarily just in China. Mm-hmm. Now they're going to think twice. When Hollywood if Hollywood puts out a movie and changes symbols for China, Trump can walk up and go, well, what have we here? Ooh, that's a nice couple $100 million revenue stream. We're going to take it.
Yep. That's
Shut
ours.
it down. Thanks, Hollywood. Something's got to be done about it. I don't know to what degree Trump will actually pull things like that off, but you got to imagine all of these woke billionaires that won't say one word against China will start thinking twice about their business operations.
Damn. Yep.
Think about it. That executive order was broad, man.
Mm-hmm.
It was like indirectly assisting somebody associated with, like,
I know.
So you could be a billionaire who owns a company that you don't pay attention to, and they make shoes, and the shoes are made in, Shenzhen, and then all of a sudden, Shenzhen, or however you pronounce it, I can't pronounce it.
Yeah.
And then Trump goes, you're indirectly funding, the owner of that factory, which is a party member. I'm going to take your stuff.
I think I clapped when I first read that.
Clapped, like you're in your room and you're like,
I was on my desk. I was just reading that part, and I was just like, yes.
I jokingly clapped for the microphone, but yeah, man.
No, I did.
So
physically.
maybe to get conspiratorial, I was talking to somebody the other day, and I was like, think about everything that's happened. We may have mentioned this on the show. Everything that's happened has been very fortuitous for us in the event of a war with China. We've decentralized from our cities. People are fleeing cities. People have bought guns like crazy. Non-essential work has been curtailed, and now people are, being given resources to stock up on the things that they choose to get.
True.
It's like, it feels like we're gonna go to war soon. Oh, what is this?
So,
oh man.
So, well, I mean, we were just kind of talking about this is not I don't want to say that this is fortuitous in our favor, because this is terrible for a lot of Chinese citizens that's going on right now. But this is the Three Gorges Dam, and this is from 2017. So now I'm gonna click over. This is from June 24th. So you can see the floodgates are open, and it is releasing. I mean, this thing is coming apart. But
why are they dumping the water out?
Probably because the dam is falling apart, and they need to release the pressure. Because
I thought it was flooding, like overflowing.
Well, that's what it is.
Trying to avoid that.
Right. So it's flooding downriver. Now this.
Oh, I see.
This is July 9th.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So this is really a really bad situation. So they're probably. I mean, this is a serious situation for them.
So what you're saying is that the U.S. is using weather control devices based in Alaska known as HARP to control. I'm kidding.
You know what town is going to take the biggest brunt of this water?
Which town?
I bet you can guess.
Wuhan?
You're absolutely right.
No way.
Weird,
dude,
right?
what is
It's
this?
so
So
weird.
Are we already at war? Is that what's happening?
It's crazy, man. So, and if this dam breaks, it's kind of like a long valley all the way to Wuhan. So the water won't go anywhere but straight. So it's going to be like 100 kilometer an hour tsunami coming from the mountains down just all the way out to sea. So it's terrible. It's like it's crazy, but like China's under some serious pressure right now.
I got a question for you.
What's up?
If China contacted the United States right now and said the dam is about to break,
We need
everyone
help.
and everyone in Wuhan will die unless the United States helps us right now and deploys, and we can stop this, should the U.S. intervene to stop the dam from breaking?
Absolutely, without a doubt.
But what about the
No
Uyghurs?
doubt. We make it part of the deal.
Yep.
Absolutely. We will absolutely help you, but you have to abide by this, and this. We'll come help you. No doubt.
I got to be honest,
tomorrow we'll be there, but you have to stop all this stuff. You got to sign these treaties. You got to do this. It's like, we want to help you.
Listen.
I feel bad for the Chinese citizens that have nothing to do with the CCP. I've seen lots of them that they hate the CCP.
My opinion of the CCP is not high enough to believe they would accept it. They would look at Trump.
You're right.
And he'd go, "We'll let them die."
You're right. That's true.
I don't think
They would.
good people. I think these are nasty authoritarians. Like I said, man, they'll lop off their own arm if it means getting an advantage against us.
And that should tell you everything you need to know about the CCP.
They were welding people into their homes.
Yep.
Like, look, man, they literally have concentration camps. They don't care about their people. They will not give in to our demands no matter what. They're probably sitting there, and the CCP is like, let them die.
They're probably like, we could rebuild Wuhan anyway.
Yeah, man. They got 1.4 billion people. They're going to be like, don't care. They don't care about the people who work in parts of the. You know what they were doing during the Olympics when the Olympics came to China? They were taking the water from the farmers, the poor farmers.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, the Communist Party of China is and has been horrifying.
Okay.
Like, aren't they now telling people to take down pictures of Jesus in exchange and to put up Mao?
Yep.
Mao. Like,
That's
man,
correct.
dude,
That's what's happening.
And that guy was nuts.
It's scary.
Yeah,
There's already
dude.
been 45 million people that have been affected by the flood so far. 45 million people are already like, look at the difference there. It's insane, right?
This is crazy that the water was a lot higher, but they weren't releasing anything. Now they're trying to like dump as much as they can.
Yeah.
So this is, which one's the latest?
That
Oh,
one.
wow, July
One more.
9th.
Yeah, that one.
Man.
And I mean, I'm finding, I haven't found this to be true, but there is some people saying that they're diverting the water towards that dam to prevent it from damaging other areas that are key components.
Yeah.
But that dam is the power of 3 nuclear plants. That's a lot of energy.
Apparently,
Let alone, not for necessarily for the people that are downstream, but for probably a huge portion surrounding that whole area.
So check this out. They say on this is from taiwannews.com.tw. On Tuesday, the Chinese financial news site Kaijing Lengyan released a controversial video that simulates the devastating flooding that would occur if the vaunted Three Gorges Dam collapsed. The video shows the path the wall of water might take. It includes an estimates of the speed, depth, and reach of the floodwaters all the way to Wuhan. The video starts out by stating the height of the dam is 181 meters above sea level. Its length is 2,355 meters, and the normal reservoir level is 175 meters, with a capacity of 39.3 kilometers cubed. Wow!
That's a lot.
Ominously, the words, "Once the dam breaks," appear as the animated video shows the dam disintegrate underwater. Is this the video? Do they have it? I don't think they have the video.
It's not there, no.
No, wow. They said as the distance from the Three Gorges Dam to the downstream city of Yicheng is only 50 kilometers, the video predicts that within 30 minutes after the dam breaks, Gezhoba Dam will be crushed and the city of Yicheng destroyed. A flood surge 20 meters in height would strike Yicheng at a speed of 70 kilometers an hour and bury it under 10 meters of water. Yikes, man.
I know.
Wow. Oh, is this it right here?
Maybe. I haven't seen
Oh,
this.
here we go.
Oh, yeah, I
Here
guess
we go. So for those that are listening, just shows the dam break. I can't read Chinese, so I can't tell you what they're saying. And then it shows the water. Wow, dude, it just wiped out a city.
Yep, that's the valley I was talking about.
So we can see the dam waters are flooding down the
It
river.
narrows. It's
And
gotta
now
speed it up, yeah.
it just slammed into
Holy
another
cow.
city.
I think that's Wuhan.
Yeah, and now it's wiping out.
I'm not sure if it is or not, but
It literally will just wipe out the entire cities and fill them with water.
yep.
So I wonder what's going on, man.
Why did they build cities there?
Because they build them near water.
Well, the dam was probably built,
Yeah.
and then the water, the river shrank,
And then people started building.
and they're like, oh, we can live in this area now.
That's crazy.
Yep.
There was a video I did on this place in, I think it's called St. Thomas in Nevada. I could be wrong, but it was there was an old town, and then when they built the dam, it was the inverse. When they built the Hoover Dam, water started to fill up on the other side, I guess, and it flooded the whole area, and so they just abandoned it. And now when the drought hit in the past few years, you can actually walk out and go to where the old foundations of the city
Yeah.
used to be.
I remember that video.
Yeah, man, they're facing some serious trouble, and I have to wonder if a lot of what they're doing might be acts of desperation because of it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of desperation, or maybe there's secretly a war going on we don't know about. Maybe the whole goal of modern information age warfare is to prevent people from learning what's really happening.
I mean, that sounds pretty accurate.
Yeah, but like I say things like, "How would you do it? How would you be able to pull it off?" And I think the reality is, there's probably things we don't know about in their technology. They've probably got crazy tech we haven't yet, seen publicly.
You think that's what all this talk about, not from this earth crafts that
the alien
they
stuff?
found? It's like,
I mean,
like, who knows? It's like, just because we didn't make it doesn't mean like another country could have made it or
right.
something.
So
I don't know.
For those that were following this, a Pentagon consultant said that they have vehicles that were made off-world, not of this earth or something,
Yeah, I'm going to have to see that before I believe it.
Yeah, I think I actually have a story from the National Review. Pentagon consultant briefed senators on discovery of off-world vehicles not made on this Earth. The reality is he just said he concluded they're off-world vehicles. So I want to keep the focus on what's going on with China, to be honest, because the UFO stuff is the same old narrative.
Yeah, definitely.
But here's the thing. In all likelihood, whatever they discovered, I don't understand. I mean, he's an astrophysicist, so I defer to him. But why wouldn't the first assumption be, what has China invented? You know, in a long time ago, the bow and arrow was like the pinnacle of weapons technology.
It changed the world.
And when properly used on horseback, you were undefeatable. Amazing. You'd run in and be like, doom, just arrow, arrow, arrow. You won the war, like that. And we've continually advanced our weaponry. The most powerful weapons that we know of, nuclear weapons, and more powerful and bigger. But is that really the most effective way to win a war? It's not. Information manipulation is.
It's true.
In which case, it's not surprising to see DDoS attacks, major hacks by the Chinese government, and cyber warfare be the true warfare that we see today.
Or mental manipulation.
Yeah.
That take it a step further.
Like when you see weird companies investing in news organizations in the United States from foreign governments, and only some of them get called out. Russia Today it's complete fake news, but Al Jazeera, that's good.
Yeah, fine.
Same thing. And even, I mean, to be fair, even the CBC and the BBC, foreign companies broadcasting in the U.S. do not have our best interests. They're going to say things the way they want them to be portrayed for their interests, not ours.
Yep.
I don't know what you do about it, but I'll tell you what. We have Xinhua in the United States. And if you go to Times Square, I don't know if they still do, but for a long time, like one of the tallest advertisements was a Xinhua advertisement. That's the Chinese state news agency, literally Chinese propaganda. Oh. It's like you don't run a company in China unless it's the government. Like they control it, Thanks for checking out this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. We do the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. If you want to catch the full show, tune in to this channel, subscribe, hit the like button, or check us out on iTunes and Spotify. And we will soon have this podcast up for free on all podcast platforms. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all in the next episode.